भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। I had this realization about studying Srimad Bhagavatam that this is the real thing, like most meaningful thing that I can be doing. Studying Srimad Bhagavatam is not just some like mundane education. Okay, it's over and it's done. It's saving grace. It's like a life-saving medicine. So I'm so grateful that we can do this. I'm thinking, how did I live without doing this every day? Thank you. I stopped somewhere here. My dear Lord, you come in this form to diminish the sin and consequent suffering of fallen souls by teaching knowledge of liberation and devotion to yourself. Since the sinful conditioned souls depend on your direction to deliver them, you also incarnate in various other forms, such as Varaha, to say nothing of the spiritual benefit bestowed on those like me who directly see you face to face. Even those who simply chant your holy name, hear about you, offer you obeisance, and remember you, can immediately become qualified to perform Vedic rituals, even if they were born in a family of dog eaters. Let's pause. Again, that analogy that I brought up yesterday, right? If somebody comes and plunders our house and destroys it and then calls our name, will we be like, oh, so nice, he called my name? But Krishna is so kind. He can immediately forgive us, remove all our sins, accept us, bless us. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyaiva, Nastyaiva, Nastyaiva Gatiranya. So chanting of the holy names is the Yuga Dharma. Chanting of the holy names is everything. It gives us everything. And therefore, I pray to the Lordships, Shri Radha Madhava, please give me the strength to chant the holy names in the purest, strongest way, so I can feel that eternal connection with you, so that every other priority in this life may take the back seat. May chanting of the holy names be my only business, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Chanting of the holy name should be our only business. Everything else, no, we do. We wake up and we brush our teeth and we clean ourselves and we cook and we eat, and all the things that we do during the day is basically so that we can do what we're doing now. Study Srimad Bhagavatam, chant the holy names with attention. That's actually purpose. Everything else is just support to do this. So how fortunate we are that we know, especially us who are studying now, that we don't have to work for somebody. We don't have to go to jobs in the morning, taking trams and trains and whatnot. We don't have to suck up to some boss and please somebody. We're so fortunate that we can dedicate ourselves to completely studying the scriptures and studying Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting the holy name. So lucky. So lucky. Oh, I don't know what great activity or great blessings we got received from great devotee that we are in this situation. So I keep reminding myself that don't be complacent, take advantage of this situation, take advantage of this freedom, and be fully Krishna conscious. It takes lifetimes to become devotee. And even as devotee, it's rare to have time and not have to go and work and do this and that. So we are in that position. So please, Krishna, give us strength to do our duties of Krishna consciousness in the full 100% manner. Let us go back to God at this lifetime itself. Let us take advantage of this opportunity and deliver all our 7 generations also. Ancestors are waiting for us. This is the best way we can help them. Would you like to continue reading from here? Oh, how glorious are those who chant our holy name.
Okay.
Thank
Oh,
you.
how glorious are those who chant your holy name. Even by once chanting without offense, one becomes worthy of worship and is considered as good as the cultured Aryans. In previous lives, they have already performed all kinds of austerity, sacrifices, study of the Vedas, pilgrimage, and baths in sacred rivers. Devahuti hesitated, feeling inadequate to properly describe Kapila's glories. Bowing her head, she concluded her prayer. Although you have come as my son, I am convinced that you are Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Brahm, the shelter of the Vedas, the great saints, and sages all meditate on you. For only by your mercy can one gain liberation from the clutches of material nature. Kapila rose and lovingly touched his mother's feet. Then he gravely replied, "My dear mother, the path of self realization I have explained is very easy. You can follow it without difficulty. You can follow it without difficulty and you will soon be liberated, even within this life. True transcendentalists traverse the path I have taught you. Be assured that if you follow it perfectly, you shall be freed from fearful material contamination and attain my eternal abode. Persons who do not know this method of devotional service certainly cannot get out of the cycle of birth and death." Kapila then walked around his mother 3 times as a sign of his respect and humbly asked her permission to leave home. He wanted to set the right example for other transcendentalists who aspired for spiritual realization. Her tears flowing freely, Devahuti touched his bowed head in blessing. He had accomplished his mission at home. Without any further ado, Kapila left.
Wow. It feels like ouch. I feel like, oh my God, Kapila is going away. I feel bad.
Hmm. What about Devahuti? Kadama has left. Now Kapila is also leaving.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Be-
Well,
beads of
Devahuti will
sweat.
also leave.
Yeah. Beads of sweat ran down the faces of the two friends, absorbed in Kapila's pastimes. Neither of them had noticed how the day had passed. It was now late afternoon, and they had been speaking since dawn. Then wisps of smoke rose from the smouldering fire, which had all but gone out. Maitreya stood up and stretched out his lean frame. "My dear Vidura, you must be hungry and tired. Shall we take a short break?" When they were refreshed and rested, they resumed their conversation. Vidura said, "Pray tell me, what happened to Devahuti after Kapila left? The Vedas say that a woman should be protected at all stages of her life, first by her father, then by her husband, and finally her son. Why then did Kapila leave her? Oh, did she follow him?" Maitreya replied, by delivering spiritual knowledge to his mother, Kapila fully discharged his duty to protect her. She took those teachings to heart and remained at home in her ashrama, practicing bhakti yoga as she had learned from her son. Seated in her flower bedecked palace.
Let's pause there. See, this is very important and relevant for us. Sometimes we speak about, hey, women should be protected. It doesn't mean that they should be locked up in some place or should be sent away to the forest with the husband or the son or something. Protection is about consciousness, it's about knowledge. Now that Devahuti is equipped with the right knowledge, she's protected. So, protection is not just some sort of externally chaining the woman. It's actually about encouraging her Krishna consciousness and encouraging her to do devotional service. That is actual protection. Yeah, please continue.
Which was like the flower crown of Saraswati. She absorbed in samadhi. Kneeling 3 times daily, she reduced her eating and sleeping and wore old garments. In course of time, her curling black hair turned grey. By virtue of Prajapati Kardam's mystic powers gained by his austerities and yoga practice, he had created an opulent palace so splendid it was envied even by the celestials who traverse outer space in their airplanes. Luxuriant beds were spread with milk white sheets and pillows. The chairs and benches were carved from ivory and covered by lace cloth with golden filigree. The couches were made of gold and had silken cushions. The walls were constructed of gleaming marble, decked with valuable gems that illuminated the palace. All the maidservants were adorned with costly jewels. There were delightful gardens with fragrant flowers, and many beautiful tall trees laden with fruit. Birds warbled in their branches, and bees hummed around the blossoms, making the whole atmosphere extremely charming. When Devahuti entered the garden to bathe in the lotus-filled pond, the Gandharva girls would sing about Kadama's glorious household life. Their songs reminded Devahuti how her great husband had protected her throughout her life. Thus, her heart was always free of anxiety. Yet, despite her incomparable opulence, coveted even by the heavenly damsels, Devahuti became detached from her comfortable situation, preferring to live simply. Although she did not feel any inconvenience in foregoing material amenities, she was distressed by separation from her son. Vidura was
Mhm.
surprised. Did she not miss her husband? Maitreya said. When her husband left, her grief was assuaged by Kapila. When he also left, she felt desolate. Lamenting like a cow bereft of its calf, she would cry piteously to her friends and visiting relatives. Please bring my son home so that I may live. Without him, I shall surely die. Indeed, it was because of such intense meditation upon Lord Kapila that she lost all attachment to her lavish home. However, because such thoughts gave her pain, she felt she had to change her meditation. Recalling Kapila's instructions that she had so eagerly and attentively heard, she began to concentrate on the eternally smiling Vishnu. Daily she would speak about Vishnu with her companions, chant his holy names, worship his deity form, and offer him prayers. Soon her mind became filled with his loving remembrance. Highly abstemious, she ate and slept only to stay alive. In time, she became Brahman realized, fixed in knowledge of her spiritual nature as Krishna's eternal part and parcel. Increasingly absorbed in meditating upon Vishnu, her heart was purified of material contamination. Vidura asked, after achieving self realization, why did she continue to meditate? Maitreya
Hmm.
said, since she was always discussing Vishnu's form, qualities, pastimes, entourage, She naturally became absorbed in meditating on his personal feature. Knowledge of his impersonal, all-pervasive Brahm aspect is automatically revealed to one engaged in such devotional service. Devahuti became free from material identification and its concomitant sufferings because she perceived how everything in the material world is Krishna's energy. She thus attained transcendental bliss. Freed from the illusion of bodily identification, she became fixed in samadhi. Indeed, she was no longer conscious of her material body, just as upon awakening from a dream one forgets his dream body. Vidura asked, how did she maintain herself? She was tended by the celestial damsels Kardama had provided her. Her body remained healthy as she had no anxiety. Vidura looked puzzled. It is said that one in the renounced order of life should not accept personal service from anyone. So why did Devahuti accept the service of her Gandharva maidservants? Maitreya nodded, acknowledging Vidura's insightful question. This may appear to be against spiritual principles, but just as fire is still beautiful, even when covered by smoke, she remained pure although surrounded by luxury. Vidura was still doubtful. How could she remain pure while transgressing such an important principle? Maitreya said, Devahuti made no arrangement for her own bodily care by Krishna's will, the celestial.
Actually, see here, Devahuti's body remained healthy as she had no anxiety. This is very important in spiritual progress and advancement. We shouldn't uh, get caught up in anxiety, because anxieties make us heavy and burdened, and then we can't continue devotional service. We can't dedicate ourselves with 100%. So this is important principle here. We can learn. It's very, very important. And yeah, as Maitreya is explaining that she didn't care, but by Krishna's will, the maidens cared for her. So uh, I can continue a little bit reading. Mm. By Krishna's will, the celestial maidens cared for her. She was simply absorbed in samadhi, so much so that she was unaware of her physical appearance, not even noticing if her hair was loose or her garments disarrayed. By applying Kapila's teachings, she soon became liberated from the material bondage, and then saw the saw the super soul within her heart. Finally, she entered the spiritual planet known as Kapila Vaikunta, where she eternally enjoys the company of her transcendental son. Wow. It's like the happy ending of the story. um, see, one thing is when people are poor and they don't have anything, to be detached is easy. But to have such a huge palace and have maidservants and have all facilities and still be detached and still sleep less and eat less, that's austerity. Like for a beggar, if you tell him do austerity, it's easy because he doesn't have anything. But when you have everything and then we need to do the austerity, that is bhakti. That's example of Devahuti here. So she had everything and she still did austerities. The location where she achieved perfection, my dear Vidura, has become a sacred place of pilgrimage. It is known all over the three worlds as Siddhapada. Vidura's bodily hair stood erect. Devahuti's success filled him with a sublime hope. By following her path, perhaps he too could one day become united with his beloved Krishna. He wondered if her body was entombed at Siddhapada. If so, he could go there and pray for her blessings. Maitreya said, there is no tomb for her, my dear Vidura. Her material body melted into water, which is now the most sacred of all rivers. Anyone who enters those waters becomes spiritually perfect, and therefore those desiring perfection bathe there. Vidura decided to locate Siddhapada and bathe in all the rivers in that area. He asked Maitreya what Kapila had done after departing. My dear Vidura, the great sage Kapila, the personality of Godhead, After taking his mother's permission to leave his father's hermitage, travel to the northeast. As he passed through the Himalayas, he was praised by Charanas and Gandharvas, as well as the celestial sages and damsels who offered him prayers. He then followed the Ganges River to her delta, famous as Ganga Sagara. There, the ocean deity worshipped him and requested him to stay. Even now, Kapila remains there in trance to deliver conditioned souls throughout the three worlds, and all great teachers of Sankhya philosophy worship him. Maitreya fell silent, absorbed in his own thoughts. How unfortunate that of late an impostor Kapila preached an atheistic version of Sankhya philosophy. Shaking his head sadly at the thought of people being misled, he sighed. We'll continue that tomorrow. Prabhupada also speaks about this fake Kapila who actually misleading people, atheistic version of it, philosophy. Very unfortunate, huh? Taruni Radha, I didn't see you over there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Vandana.
Any comments or questions?
I was just thinking like how in the end our absorption was so much in Krishna. So I was just thinking just like the gopis, right? They were like so absorbed they forgot about their external appearance. That part really like touched me. And the other one was about the chanting. How sweetly was that? What I don't know what we have done to be able to not bother about so many other things which other people are absorbed in, and we're given this opportunity. And then I feel myself also like just like how you said, and I need to take it more seriously. What I was thinking, like I'm such a complacent kind of a person. So that
So
message
great.
really hit my heart. It really hit my and touched my heart and hit my heart too. Pierced my consciousness. So thank you for that. Those two things, very beautiful. And I was just thinking,
Yeah,
like, how he just delivered and he left like that. We have our mentors one day, even they will be delivering the message and leaving and going on, right? And I was like, God, how it'll be, right? To kind of experience that kind of separation. Very hard. And I was seeing like how she did it because the strength of those instructions, the messages themselves, she took shelter of it and then she was able to successfully attain perfection. So I was just thinking that's also like a lesson for each person, each of us, like how to take shelter of these instructions, precious instructions which our mentors give, right? Our Guru Parampara, what instructions we receive. So that is also something that I was thinking. Like, usually when the son, especially like a mother is alive and the son passes away or goes away or something, right? And the parent, especially the mother, she's very attached. It's very difficult for them, for a mother to like kind of let go, right? Here, when Dev is going, and then how sweetly, even though he's a personality of God, I love the way he kind of paid obeisances to her. That also is like such cute, I mean, such a sweet etiquette, right? And then again, setting like everything they're doing is so much, so pure and such so sweet. It's not just externality; it's also like how much one should respect the mother from whom we get the body, being Kapila Dev himself, the personality of Godhead. So that was like so sweet. How much we owe to our mothers, right? Especially
Yeah.
mother too, yeah, but mother so much. So that point I don't like, especially for Mother's Day, right? I think we can always talk about this, like Kapila Dev, how he did in the end. Mother's Day,
Yeah.
right? So that part, and then yeah, and also like how much she had the strength to let go of her only son. Her husband went away, and then how son is also going, and then she just gets completely attached to the message. So it's just contrasting her position, her action versus just a normal conditioned souls, as in being in a position of mother, how they are just lost. They just lose everything. So I was thinking how fortunate we are to get this instructions, to understand Krishna consciousness, to even have the goal Many people don't have, right? What is the goal of their life? They're in
Mm,
pursuit of so many material goals. And then I want to achieve this, 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 this. That's it, you know. Then after that, what? What is
mm,
the goal of your own life?
mm.
That they don't
Yeah,
have, and that we've been given so
true.
freely. As soon as you come into walk into ISKCON, goal of life is attaining Krishna prema, like so easily it's given, no? But then what a beautiful, I mean, how precious it is. That's what I'm thinking. So, and I'm just feeling so much of gratitude in my heart, and I'm so grateful for both of you to just join and share Bhagavatam. I missed yesterday, and then oh my God, I had such a terrible day today. I'm just feeling so enthused, and both
Yeah,
your
we miss you
what do you
Yeah.
say? Come on, what do you say? In both your association, really uplifted. So happy for this association. Thank you
And they
so
have
much,
described about
also.
that place, Siddhapad,
Siddhapadam.
wherever.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we should go to
I
My
like
Siddhapad.
husband went there. My husband went there when my mother-in-law
Oh,
died.
which
After so
state is
many
it
years,
in?
it is near Ahmedabad. He went to Ahmedabad. From there, he took a
Gujarat.
cab. Yes. And when you take
wow.
bath, you liberate your mother. After so many years, he went. When he heard when he was reading Bhagavatam, he read this. Then he went all
Wow.
the way. This is for his mother. Yes.
Wow, thank you for sharing that.
Right.
Can
Yes.
you please share the address and the location and everything, just so
Yes,
that for
yes. I'll
reference,
ask him.
whenever we go
Definitely.
to Gujarat
After
or
so
Ahmedabad?
many years, about 17 years he went.
Mm.
About 2 years back only he went. When he was
Wow.
reading Bhagavatam, he learned that a son should go there. Then his mother is liberated, then he went there. Yes,
I wanted to
Siddhapad.
share a couple of things after Taruni Radha's share. One is how the rasa aspect is emphasized by Kapila also. Even though he's a lord and all, you see, he gave all the knowledge, he protected the mother, and then he pays obeisances. That's Krishna consciousness and all the rasa aspects of it. Like, regardless of who's the teacher, who's the student, who is the learner, there is a friendship aspect, or there is that affection aspect. There is that vatsalya aspect. All these emotions are rasa. Siddhanta wise, oh yeah, somebody is on the Vyasa son and they're sharing knowledge and like that. But there is always the rasa aspect in Krishna consciousness. I was thinking that is very sweet, to notice that relationship. And also, he happens to be the Lord himself, and yet he has that relation like that. So personal, so personal. And then another point I was thinking was, um, we are doubly fortunate in one sense. We can say that like Vibhuti had like a husband like Kardama, and then she had a Kapila Dev, was Lord himself as a son and all. So how hard it must have been for her to tolerate their departures, right? How difficult. And in our case, that thing, that little thing is a little bit made easy, because in this material world relationships can be disappointing and frustrating, and the people that we live with, they are also just bag of bones. They're not going to treat us perfectly, etc., which is actually a blessing in disguise. So it's a way to facilitate our progress too. So Krishna is very kind that he can uh, help us in two ways. Like, one way is by giving us food and shelter, and we don't have to go and work for some karmic corporate guy or whatever, and go and serve somebody to earn and to live. We don't have to do that. I mean, I'm talking about amongst ourselves. And then the second thing is also, we're not going to become too, like, if we have perfect relationships and everything, we're going to become attached to that. No, we will not become serious about spiritual life. But when there is a little bit of that disappointment, it makes us realistic about this world. That's such a saving grace. Yeah. Thank you. So we can end here and continue tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada
Jai,
ki jai. Gaura
Jai.
Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Wonderful.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you